because this is shout out to my guy Marcus Wells. Seemingly extraordinary access. Now,
Least privilege.
least privilege. And
y'all.
one of the things we always talk about, I tell everyone all the time how they're so fascinated with, working in the SOC and pen testing and all these different things. At the end of the day, everything always goes back to one critical piece in your cybersecurity strategy. And that is IAM and PAM.
Mm-hmm.
Role-based access creep. If you have too much access to things you don't need access to, this is what happens. I'll say not only that, so this is where we get DLP coming in. We get insider threat because the things that he's accessing is all tied to something. Someone can see when you go look at a certain cloud in a certain a certain folder on a certain drive. We can see that. They probably doing this now on LinkedIn because a lot of people have been laid off. And I kind of want to touch on this first. It's kind of like our opening icebreaker segment, but it's about MLMs. If y'all have joined an MLM out there before or been a part of one, please comment below and let us know if you have been a part of one. But I would tell you to be very leery of these people. Like, for example, business does not work in the sense of I'm just on a social media site and I'm saying, hey, I'm looking to people to partner with and not tell you what it is.
Right.
I don't just choose
no credentials, no nothing.
I don't just take $200 from you and now you're my business partner. Like, they'll use certain verbiage like, hey, do you want to work on making an asset, having an asset that's going to generate you money and funds? And you're kind of right there, but you're like, what doesn't make sense? So how you expose these people is you look for them being very vague and never giving you direct answers. Every time you ask them for a direct answer, they always give you some BS thing, or they say, oh, you don't want to make money, or I can see you're too closed-minded to this opportunity. Like, that matter of fact, that word opportunity, the business, these type of things, these are the words that they use. And I just want to give you a quick funny story about my time almost doing Amway. I got a post to do
too, bro.
I got a now before this, I'll tell you guys, I've only did 2 MLMs actually. I did World Ventures, which was you should be here, people, thinking I was really helping people out because I did it as if like, hey, if you're a part of World Ventures, you get a better deal on your trip, but you don't. You got a better deal on Expedia, and I quit once the guy didn't care about my grandfather being sick. He was more concerned me sending links to people so they could view the thing with the business. And I did PHP, not Primerica, but I did PHP, people helping people. And that's just insurance.
Oh, I thought you was talking about PHP, like the programming language. Is that a multi-level marketing scheme?
No, it's called Patrick David owns one called People Helping People. And he pretty much took what he did at World Financial Group to PHP. And it seems different from Primerica, but it's not. It's the same thing. They're more concerned with you bringing people into the meetings every week versus actually learning how to sell insurance and actually helping people. But Amway is the funniest one because this came about through LinkedIn. It was during the time I was not working yet. I was really close to landing my new job. And the guy, matter of fact, I'm going to put it on Eric and I'm going to let him tell the story because I actually want to see if I can find this on LinkedIn real quick.
So, all right, so my joint, it was with Amway too. So I was working, but I just had baby girl, and I was trying to find some ways to get some extra money. And so I meet this guy at my job. Actually, I meet this guy at my job, and he's just like, he hit me with the basic spiel. You want to escape your 9 to 5? Like, how is this gonna help you, in the future? And do you want to put some money away? So I'm young, I'm ambitious. I'm like, yeah, let's go, let's make this money. So I should have knew something was up because I remember, like you said, asking him for a straight up answer. Like, how does this make money? Like, what's the product? When we talking basic economics, right? It's a good or a service. Like, what is the good or what is the service that you're selling? So here's the first shady part. I meet this guy at Starbucks in a Barnes and Noble. So it wasn't even brick and mortar Starbucks. It's the Starbucks inside the Barnes and Noble. And so I go meet this guy, and one of the dudes like, oh yeah, he's in here all the time. Like, he's in here all the time. So I'm like, oh, okay, he got a regular meeting spot. Like maybe this is where he work or something like that. So I meet with the guy and he's like, yeah, you know, you would work under me and I got this many people under me. And like, you know, here the results from a couple people. And I realized that like, as he's showing me the results, I guess he was flashing them, like putting them down right one on top of the other. And I guess he thought I wasn't going to read them. But as I'm reading them, it's the same paragraph over and over again, like under different names. Everybody got the same results. Everybody got the same numbers. I probably should have booked it then, but no, I sat there, I listened. So anyway, I don't know what I was thinking, but I ended up signing up. And yeah, man, long story short, it happened over, 3 to 6 months maybe. But yeah, I ended up losing like 2 racks messing with dude and having a bunch of product I couldn't move. So very, very bad experience. I personally think that there are better ways to build wealth than multi-level marketing, but you know, like my boy said, if that's what you're gonna get into, make sure you do your research because it's mad pyramid scheming.
Yeah. So
you got the message?
Yeah, I don't delete anything. People should know that about me. I don't delete anything. Let me actually zoom in because I've been seeing that.
Bro got the
when
message,
I've been doing
bro.
this, a lot of people can't see it. So let me go back on StreamYard. All right, they should be able to read this. Perfect. So this dude is named Gotham. So yo guys who've been following me know my timeline of when I was laid off was February 2018. He comes out, says, this is Gotham. I am a management consultant and alongside also working on a few startups in Dallas. Now look at this. Startups. Let's stay in touch. And I said, sounds good. So I don't know what I was doing at the time. Probably just replying to reply. Then he says, I'm working with a biz mentorship and leadership team and collaborating with a bunch of entrepreneurs and corporates to build assets. Can't promise anything, but our team is currently qualifying a few new talents in the area. Let me know if you're open to explore new ideas part-time so we can have a brief chat over a call later to discuss the process and team expectations. Let's see. So I said, whatever a good time for me. And this is number. And then we started talking on WhatsApp, right?
Bro, you gotta blur out your number, bro.
Oh, that's old. You know, I got 972 number now. So they can try to call whoever that is now. So the funny thing is,
call that number and put the name in the chat.
I'm not gonna make this part long, but the funny thing is how he said assets, and then much like Eric was talking about, dude invited me to a Starbucks inside of Tom Thumb. So that's red flag number one. If you're a legit business, at this time, why don't you have an office space? And
at least yours was 2018. Mine was in like 2013.
Listen, I met with Buddy probably 3-4 times before he actually kind of told me what it was. And when I finally got to meet his mentor on the business with Mr. Santosh, and then you get to this little meeting, and this is how I knew that Jig was kind of up. Got to this meeting. He said, hey, dress up to this thing. It's a meeting at the Doubletree in Addison or Dallas. So they manufacture to try to make you get into the feeling of believing in what these people are saying by putting you on the front row and listen to some dude who was like a construction worker. No shout to construction workers because my background comes from that blue collar work. However, he was up there talking as if, oh yeah, I just did 6 figures and it's so easy. All these people are retired, and it was not the case. These people had jobs. They worked just like I was trying to go back to work. Also, the other red flag was they kept on having me listen to these recordings or these talks. And so I listened to one, they asked me what I took away from it. And then the next week they had me listen to one, and it was the same thing. And if I really felt like going through it, because I have the WhatsApp screenshot when they kicked me out the WhatsApp group, when I said, yeah, I didn't really care for the talk. It was about the same thing you had me listen to last week. That's when Gotham says, oh, Mr. Sanchez doesn't think you're a right fit for the business. And I said, yeah, I don't want to do it either. And so he tried to call me. I didn't answer because, man, my mind's made up. I'm not going to answer you. And I just started ignoring him. But just like you said, you lost 2 racks. There are people on YouTube that lost like $20,000, $30,000 when it's come to Amway, because it's just like Herbalife. You have to buy all this inventory and just sit on it. And it's crazy. You can't get it off. They try to convince you you're going to have a store like Amazon. You're going to make money from it. But you got to think about, why would somebody want Amway products when they can go on Amazon and get it themselves for much cheaper?
For much probably cheaper, yeah.
So I just want to say that because I hate Amway. There are other MLM stories. I have if I a live stream one day when I just go through like the multi-level marketing people that just come in my inbox and I have fun messing with them, or it got so bad years ago, I put on my page on LinkedIn, I said, hey, I'm not interested in your business venture. Please do not ask me. And they still were messaging me about it. But what's going on, guys? This is episode 84 of the Textual Talk, where I'm your host, HD, and we got none other than Mr.
The E is for extra, aka the sock coach in the building,
aka Mr. Steal Your Girl. But
you gotta stop. You gotta stop.
Yeah, man. I know we 10 minutes in without introducing the pod, but I feel like just getting that off because it's always funny. Like I could probably go 2-3 hours on MLM content alone just from the funny stuff that I've seen, especially when they reach out to me. Oh, how many?
You gotta write a book, bro. You gotta tell them about that time you sold Mary Kay.
they can my guy, if you want to listen to like funny MLM stories and like real stuff where he infiltrates pyramid schemes, go to Always Marco on YouTube. Best MLM content out here. Like he goes undercover and act like he's stupid and like records all the stuff and like makes videos. It's great. But today we got a lot of different topics for you guys. Like for one, I think the first one we should start off with is LinkedIn is rolling out a feature for you pretty much to verify you work where you said you worked at. And I think this is a big one because we know people be lying on their resumes that they work somewhere and trying to get that stuff verified, even though there are other ways on the back end to verify if you actually work somewhere, which a lot of the people that are ignorant to this don't know. But the fact that you can do it on LinkedIn is even better because this is going to reduce the number of those people that act like they work somewhere and are speaking on behalf of a company trying to scam people and take their money. This is going to be big. So let's get to this article. We're going to present it, and then we're going to see what, Eric's thoughts, what are my thoughts on it. All right. So let's get to it. LinkedIn rolls out ways to verify your identity and employment without a price tag.
So that's major key number one. This is not going to cost anything yet. Mm-hmm. This is not going to cost anything. I think that's major key number one because we see so many companies doing verification. And, they're using it as a cash grab. So this isn't going to cost anything. So I'm going to come back to my feelings on that point. But that's right. The first thing you need to point out right there.
Right. And I'm trying to do the verification for IG because somebody made a fake page of me. So I want them people to know that's actually me. It's not really for me to try to feel like I'm something I'm not. But as you increase your notoriety, people start trying to copy your links, act like they're you, and then message people acting like they're you, trying to get money from them. So I'm trying to put a stop to that. LinkedIn is introducing new ways to verify your identity and where you work. The company announced on Wednesday, unlike with Twitter and Meta, LinkedIn's new verification measures don't include paid subscriptions or blue check marks. I feel like that's a shot. The company is partnering with
definitely
Clear.
A shot.
And I actually like Clear because we use Clear Afrotech to make sure like your COVID status and everything was up to date. So we use Clear for that. And I use Clear to Fly, a secure identity platform to provide verification for LinkedIn users in the United States. Starting this month, users can display on your profile that they verify your identity with Clear. To do so, you need to provide your government issue ID and phone number. Clear pretty dope though, because it can recognize you with your fingerprints, your iris.
Is that dope? Or is that another place where my information is going to be floating around?
I mean, even though Apple say that your information is on their phone, I mean,
Okay. All right. We get into that. We
can always be a Clash Jackson suit. I mean, hey, Alexa probably listening to you right now, or Google.
That's true.
Once you verify your identity, your profile displays new verification sections under the connect and message buttons. A user who visits your profile will see a check mark next to a government ID banner that will indicate that you have a verified government ID. That's a good one too. LinkedIn users around the world also have the option to verify where they work with their company email. To confirm your place of employment, you have to enter a verification code sent to your company email address. LinkedIn notes that this feature works with more than 4,000 companies on the platform. The platform plans to roll out this option to more companies over time. So I just thought about a way.
So you can't retro this?
Probably could. It wouldn't matter because on the back end, when doing like third-party background checks, they use the different things to see if you worked where you said you worked. So what's it called? The job number. It's something you can go through and pretty much prove you work somewhere. That's why people don't even know. Like, line only gets you so far. For a company who really want to know if you work where you said you work, it's not going to work for you.
Yeah, if they doing real background checks, then they can easily tap into that IRS database and make sure you got a pay stub from that company. Just free game.
So apparently, this is how it'll look. Verify your identity with Clear. Yep, that's how the Clear app looks. And then it says LinkedIn has partnered with Microsoft to allow organizations to leverage the Microsoft Entra Verify ID platform to issue digital workplace IDs for free for eligible users. The new option will roll out at the end of this month. LinkedIn plans to make this option available to dozens of participating companies reaching more than 2 million LinkedIn members. All right. We're not going to go anymore on with that tangent. So, E, what you think about that?
So I think the verification is a good thing. I think that we talked about on the channel before, like people, using name notoriety of workplaces to kind of bolster whatever product they're selling. It's like, oh, sign up for my Bootcamp. I used to work for Microsoft. I can get you a job at at a FANG company or main company, I guess is now. So I like that part. I don't like that it requires a government ID. I don't like that it requires personal PII, right? I don't like that it requires personal identifiable information. Only because this database, like me thinking with my hacker brain, this database immediately becomes a target, right? This database immediately becomes a place where not only can I go hack somebody's LinkedIn profile, which may have a credit card attached to it, but now I can go get their government ID. I can go get a phone number, which I can use for smishing or other SMS type attacks. And that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that as I look at this, I'm immediately thinking, okay, here is a really, really big target that this company is probably going to be promoting all across the internet. So that's the first thing I think of. Second thing I think of is just, it's not even a second thing. Within that same vein, it's like, how are they securing this? Me personally, as a company, if I was doing some sort of questionnaire for this, I would want to know how they were securing this information, because personally, a lot of companies have a policy where you can't use your company email address for social media sites, right? A lot of companies have that policy. So how are they getting around that? So I think this is a very, very good idea. I want to hear more about how they're securing a database, and I would be interested to know how these companies are applying these policies for social media, because are they using blanket policies? Is like, oh, you can't use your company email address for social media unless it's LinkedIn. Like, how is that working? So I'm curious to figure out how these 4,000 companies are handling that as far as acceptable use policies go.
Yeah, I think that will be a good use case. I believe that. So I know right now, currently with Clear, it's like all your information. So I don't know how this affects you if you already have a Clear account, you already use it, and your things are on file. Would it be just similar to, okay, for example, right? When you use Blind and Fishbowl, they use like a company ID for you to be registered so you can actually use it. And it sends it there, and that's about it. So I think that's one of the ways, but truly speaking, there still could be a way a person could manipulate that. Well, they couldn't, because you got to have the government ID part. But I was saying, if not, then you can say you can know somebody. Oh, I'm going to send you this code at your work thing, and then you verify so I can act like I work somewhere. I don't know. People always will find a workaround for these things, but I'm interested in to see how positive this will be, and how will it affect like the future job scams from people. Because one of the other ones that I would like LinkedIn, Indeed, Dice, and everyone to do is actually like fake job scams. Think how easy it is for us to use AI, make a fake company name, and say, hey, we have these, opening for like 5 analysts, and put it on Indeed. And we can just use it to harvest. We can just use it to harvest emails. So,
or like you said, scam people from Indeed, because it's like there's nothing on Indeed that stops you from saying you're a company and you got jobs to hire for.
Oh,
there's nothing that stops you from doing that.
That's facts, man. And as it's so many things that's happening right now, it's like everything's in disarray. Everyone wants to either get a job, or they're just trying to find all type of shortcuts to get in. And it's like the people who just want to do it the regular way are caught in between the crossfire. and they don't know what to do themselves. And so companies are trying to come up with these mitigations that may or may not help with it. You know, a lot of us don't even want to put out, like for me, I don't even have current company on my LinkedIn just because of doxing and people being childish, which I don't care anyway, but I'm not going to even give you the benefit to try to do that. So that's kind of where I am with that. But like I said, LinkedIn, Microsoft are taking steps to do this because I forgot Microsoft does on LinkedIn. That's the thing I think people forget about too. Is
I
like,
forgot about that, man.
right?
I completely forgot about the fact that they own LinkedIn.
Yeah, I forgot about that when they said it was partner. I said, duh, they own them. But
Bob Iger gonna find a way to buy it.
You talking about my Disney guy?
Yeah.
Speaking of, we always talk about data and breaches. Briefly, did you hear about like Hyundai had a data breach, but it really more so involved their, I think, French and Italian customers. It didn't. Luckily, it wasn't anybody over here.
I did, and we got to get into that. We got to get into that because I suspect France is going to be a target that we hear a lot about over the next couple months.
Definitely. No,
with everything they got going on with retirement and all that stuff, I think France is going to be a target that we hear about a lot over the next couple of months.
Right. I think what I did want to talk about, and I totally forgot about it, I'm glad I added it for a topic, was what he was like 2021 IT guy that was in like the military or something like that is pretty much well, isn't he going to jail for sharing military secrets?
He going to jail.
Let's read it.
Well, he got charged. He got charged. I don't know if he's going to jail because I don't know if he got sentenced yet, but he definitely got charged.
Let's talk about it. Let's see. There we go. Because guys, this is where we separate ourselves from everyone else because they are safe measures for this thing, and for the military and the government supposed to be so secure. How do these things happen? The only possible way that something like this is supposed to happen possibly is someone using their phone to take pictures. But see, for y'all that don't know, that's used to this remote life, and a lot of SOCs, you can't have a phone with you. Your phone goes locked up in a thing, and you don't have a phone when you're working. So, like I said,
goes in a Faraday bag. You got Faraday cages and Faraday lockers.
Yeah, man. So y'all don't really know like what you're doing. It's pretty good because somebody said, "Man, what you been doing? I've been hitting you up, man. I've been working." So let's check this out. Discord leaked suspect charged with stealing and sharing military secrets. Man, that's a pretty cool.
That graphic go hard, bro. We was thinking the same thing. That graphic go hard.
After his arrest yesterday, the U.S. National Guard airman suspected of sharing a trove of national security secrets with his Discord chat group now faces charges under the Espionage Act. Okay, first of all, why would Buddy put this stuff in the Discord?
Call back to people leaking. Call back to what I said. Was it last week or the week before when I said people have been copying and pasting dumb stuff that is not an AI thing. People have been doing it with code, with everything. People have been copying and pasting stuff they have no business copying and pasting. So I just want to point that out, that this is not something specific to AI. And so everybody being like, oh, we got to find a way to lock down ChatGPT. It's like, oh, if you haven't been addressing that, then it's been happening to you probably for years.
It's pretty much like the old saying, guns don't kill people. Stupid people with guns kill people. That's pretty much what we're getting at right here. So Jax Texera, 21, was charged Friday with the unauthorized retention and transmission of national defense information and unauthorized removal and retention of classified documents. If we had time to take a dictionary out and break everything down, because as words salad to me. Texera, an airman with stuff. Right. An airman with the Massachusetts. I'm gonna try it again, y'all. An airman with the Massachusetts.
Your ass, boy.
Right. Massachusetts Air National Guard was stationed at Otis Air National Guard Base, part of Joint Base Cape Cod. If convicted of the 2 counts under the Espionage Act, Texera could face up to 10 years in prison. Now, that's why I believe you have to protect people from themselves, because they can't help it. I ain't gonna lie though. My whole beef with all this stuff. My whole beef with all this Ukraine stuff has been like, y'all gave them all this money, but y'all can't just cancel all the loans. Like, just pay the loans off. But
I don't know how we got there, bro.
I don't know. I'm gonna tell you why.
How we got there.
I've been hot about the fact they giving them all this money, but when it comes to the people who need the relief, y'all just won't take care of the loans. Y'all can take care of loans and still give money to them. I know you don't know how we got here, but this is going to be another talk for a day when the payments finally go back before you having to pay it. We're going to talk about how this really is big business for like my stuff is only like, well, they meant to Mahalia, but it was typically Department of Education. I didn't have any private loans. Now everyone else that has all the other stuff going on, that's a little bit different. But we'll actually get back into the subject matter at hand.
Texera, you wanted to get that off your chest, my boy.
I had to.
you wanted to get that off your chest. I feel you, man. Look, hey, this is a safe space. Go ahead, bro.
I felt the way. Texera seemingly extraordinary access to classified documents and fresh details about the war in Ukraine was matter of course for his role as a cyber defense operations journeyman, according to the affidavit accompanying the criminal complaint. All right, let's stop it right here. Look, because this was shout out to my guy Marcus Wells. Seemingly extraordinary access. Now,
least privilege.
And one of the things we always talk about, I tell everyone all the time how they're so fascinated with, working in the SOC and pen testing and all these different things. At the end of the day, everything always goes back to one critical piece in your cybersecurity strategy. And that is IAM and PAM.
Mm-hmm.
Role-based access creep. If you have too much access to things you don't need access to, this is what happens. And not only that, you good?
Yeah, no, go ahead. I was gonna comment on that. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say not only that. So this is where we get DLP coming in. We get insider threat because the things that he's accessing is all tied to something. Someone can see when you go look at a certain cloud in a certain drive. A certain folder on a certain drive. We can see that. Mm-hmm. Now, the person, he's not supposed to know about that rule, but the insider threat people are supposed to know about the rule, so they get hit up about it. So they actually go look into it and say, why is this person doing this? Let's see what their activity has been over the last 3 months, 90 days, 6 months. See what they actually been doing. That's how you catch the person before it's too late. So I wonder why, if the military is supposed to be this locked down, how did they get ahead of this? But I know you want to say something.
So check this out. So we've said this time and time again, but I want everybody to hear me, especially new people, even experienced people. So many security problems can be solved just by practicing basic security hygiene. Least privilege is a fundamental that we all learn starting off, right? People shouldn't have more access to anything than they absolutely need to do their job. Now, why do we do this? Well, we do this, one, because of the cost of managing access, right? It's hard to set up least privilege to find out exactly what everybody needs access to. It's easy to give people wide sweeping access, but here we see a violation of a basic security principle. And we've talked about this before offline. Like, people spend all this money on, XDR and all these other buzzwords that we hear about, but don't practice good security hygiene. Like, this dude just had too much access. This dude just had seemingly extraordinary access. Now, obviously, that's romanticized for journalism, but the point is, it seems like the root of this problem is that he had too much access. And so you got to ask yourself, if you're a new SOC analyst, if you're somebody that's new, there could be a lane for you to be like, hey, I want to check out these, because this is one of the things that new security people often ask me, is like, how do I find a win? How do I find a lane? How do I find ways to stand out? Have you looked at the policies that are being applied in your organization? Have you looked at group policies? Have you looked at these things? Because a lot of things we're trying to address with all these different security concepts and all these different type of security mechanisms, we could probably address by saying, hey, this group of people has way too much access. And if that group of people has that access, if one of their emails or one of their identities is compromised, then whoever compromises that account is going to be able to move laterally throughout our environment in a way that's way more far reaching than we would like. So least privilege, fundamental, basic security hygiene is so many of these attacks that we talk about on this channel come down to, like, there was a mistake with basic security hygiene. You gotta do the research and you gotta do the work.
Right. And let's see.
And you got to hire people to do the work. You can't hire run a SOC with 2 or 3 people and expect the work to get done. I want to point that out.
That's facts. So that document offered some new details of the investigation into Texera, including how the FBI identified him. So why did the FBI identify him, but not the National Guard? Questions that need to be answered. Let's see. Prior to Texera's arrest, the New York Times and Washington Post both spoke with members of the Discord server, where a group of online friends bonded over an interest in guns, racist memes, and gaming. Duh. It's always them. Like, we don't like to stereotype y'all, but we already know it's y'all. It's always y'all. You know, they should have added incels on there too. The Times published Texera's name shortly before his arrest Thursday. On April 12th, I wonder did they take him to McDonald's? Because you remember they took Dylan, whatever his name
drop
is.
Drop the lock him up soundbite, bro. Lock him up. Lock him up.
Actually, I don't even got that specific software mic thing on there. It's got the regular one. That's why I haven't been doing no gunshots or nothing. But I'm gonna get a stream deck. That way I don't have to worry about using my phone for this. Don't worry. I'm gonna get it ASAP. On April 12th, the FBI obtained the billing details of Texera's server from Discord. Texera paid for the Discord server where he shared the secret documents using his real name and address in North Dayton, Massachusetts, where he would soon be arrested. Did Buddy want to go to jail?
OPSEC, basic security principle. Not only are you out here doing some mad illegal stuff and being racist, but you're not even practicing OPSEC. Come on now. OPSEC is operational security for anybody that don't know.
Maybe a double agent. Maybe he's going in jail to actually do something.
Maybe he's an idiot.
While Discord places a premium on the privacy of our users, we believe that our platform best serves the needs of all when we collectively engage in responsible online behavior, a Discord spokesperson told TechCrunch. Our terms of service expressly prohibit using Discord for illegal or criminal purposes, which includes the sharing of documents on Discord that may be verifiable classified.
So wait, the racist memes, y'all okay with that?
Oh yeah, Discord? Yeah, that was cool with them.
Y'all okay with the racist memes?
Hey, that's why I rock with Slack. Y'all like Discord, I like Slack.
Hold on, you know what? Keep going, because we'll go down a whole nother rabbit hole.
The company
racist memes, you're okay,
right?
But documents, bruh.
The company noted that it has since deleted the classified content, banned the accounts involved with the distribution, and warned other users who are still sharing the documents on its other servers. It's too late. It's too late. You'll never be able to mitigate.
You can't take nothing off the internet. You can't take nothing off the internet.
I'm pretty sure if we search for them, we can find them. The airman also apparently used his government device to do a search of classified. See, and this is what we go back to when we talk about insider threat. And also UEBA. Hey, we don't notice this person doing a lot of this stuff before. Why are they doing this? This is basic anomaly detection, like you said, based off of those different user analytics. This is basic anomaly. Again, it comes down to security hygiene. It's fundamental security hygiene. And y'all got to understand, when we say this stuff, it's not because we think we're better than these people, because there are several well-trained, really, really professional, hardworking people who work for these security organizations. The problem a lot of times lies that the organization doesn't enable these capabilities. It's not the people or the professionals. The problem oftentimes is the organization doesn't enable these people either with resource, budget, autonomy or whatever. But this comes down to basic security hygiene. Now I'm kind of confused because when I worked at TSA, bro, they would know within like minutes if we was watching TV on like an illegal streaming site, get blocked. So why is it that on the National Guard network that they aren't paying attention? Now y'all you
could watch newly seen domains. You could watch newly seen domains, right? You could do long tail analysis to see how many times this domain is being accessed by which user, right? If you got a domain that's newly seen, you do. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, right? Like if I'm running a underemployed SOC, right?
But bro,
How
I'm not
likely
gonna
is it
I'm
that
not
my
gonna cut
SOC
them that.
analyst is going to be able to prioritize that?
I'm not gonna get them no slack. This is the government here.
No, I'm not cutting no slack. I'm not cutting no slack. I'm saying like that's the problem, right? Like if you running an understaffed SOC, then you ain't got nobody that can look at that stuff. Or if you underpaying people, which we know that the government is notorious for when it comes to tech roles, right?
Except
If
the
you
ones that
underpaying people,
Herlane
or
be
you
posting, they be paying.
shout out to Herlane. My point is like they're organizational enablers of these deficiencies, right? Like this isn't like, again, I want to make it clear, I'm not blaming the person, the people who didn't detect this. I'm saying there were probably organizational enablers that stopped them from seeing this basic anomaly behavior, right? Or anomalous behavior. So
there you go.
I mean, that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. Practice good security hygiene and hire enough professionals to look at this stuff.
Right. And like I said, I'm just gonna reiterate this again for like the umpteenth time. I used to hate when they say that to me in school, but this is what separates our podcast from everybody else. Like we actually know what we're talking about. We do the things that we say we do at work. And you're not gonna get this anywhere else. You're not gonna get the entertainment value and the educational value, but here. So if you are right here, right now, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a review.
And you're not gonna hear my boy East Massachusetts.
Leave a review if you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Google Podcasts or any other the streaming services. Go ahead and leave us a review because, like I said, this is A1 content. We're gonna touch a little bit more on the document, and then I'll have this document in the description. That way, you guys can go through and read it for yourself because I know you don't want to hear us just read it the whole time. Let's see. While the cache of documents later bubbled up across public social media sites, they were first shared with a small group of friends through the Discord server Texera ran. According to the affidavit, another member of the server said that the post began in December 2022, first appearing in text form and later as photos of sensitive documents. Those photos include current military intelligence on the operation in Ukraine, including troop movements and documents that point to U.S. surveillance of allies like South Korea, among other sensitive topics. Listen, we've already said like how they should have been able to catch this, so we don't need to even beat your head over this. I will also say this is also reminding you like, I remember like the movies and the shows you watched back in the 90s, early 2000s when you watch a show when the kids' parents be out of town and they only told their friends about, hey, come up to the crib, I got the crib to myself, and then like 1,000 people show up to the house. That's what this is. He only really wanted the people in the Discord to see it, but then they started sharing it everywhere. That's all this is.
He didn't watch TV, bro. He didn't watch TV. He thought he was going to have an intimate get together, and it turned into Project X. Like, come on, my boy.
The documents apparently sat on a small Discord server for months without the U.S. government's notice before eventually making their way to more popular forums. The FBI's investigation only began last week after the classified information began appearing across public social networks. Yeah,
it was out of their control. It was out of their control.
Like that's crazy, man. Like,
it was out of their scope of control,
man. The funny thing is, he was supposed to be like some type of cyber defense. Maybe we're gonna say to layman's terms, we're gonna say he worked in the SOC. So you got a person that work in your SOC that's doing this stuff, but yet it's the phrase that we try to use for security that we also want to use for in real life. Who polices the police? That's the thing that comes to it. Like, because most of the time your security people have a lot of access, but who looks at what they're looking at? And a lot of times
you gotta have some sort of auditing. Hey, listen, think again, if we go back to our basics, right? Auditing, it's a fundamental. Not only do we have to make sure that we're logging and that we're tracking this stuff, but it's occasionally somebody has to go look at these things, right? I can't stress this enough. These are basic fundamental security hygiene type of things. You got to audit your logs. You can't just collect logs, because here's the thing: what a lot of companies do is especially for the government, they collect the logs because they have to, right? It's a NIST standard, it's a FISMA, FedRAMP, FERPA, all these different standards. They have to collect the logs. Who's going back to review these logs? Who's going back to make sure that auditing happens? Like, that's a basic fundamental, right? Like you said, you got to police the police, right? You got to go back and check these records and these logs of who accessed what, you know what I mean? And then with the pictures thing, you know, I mean, in government organizations with top secret clearances and even these high level secrets, you can't allow people to have phones in there. You just can't. You absolutely just can't, man, bro. They don't allow you to take pictures at museums, right? Man, I'm telling you, you try to take a picture in a museum, buddy in a little red jacket finna come snatch you up so quick and ask you to leave. You mean tell me they can't do this in a government sock? Come on now. Like, it's the fundamentals is all I'm saying.
I don't say if you're in Massachusetts. It's like, I know why.
Hold on. If you in where, bro? You gotta say it again.
Massachusetts. The times I mess up on this because I'm trying to say the word as fast as I can so I can get on to say what I want to say.
If you in Massachusetts, holla at my boy HD.
I don't stay there. This is the thing, y'all. A lot of times what y'all don't know is I'm thinking about the next 5-7 words I'm going to say after I'm talking about a word. So a lot of times I have to catch myself to slow down from talking so fast. When I do that, I'm able to get my words out pretty good, unless it just has my tongue tied. But yeah, Massachusetts. This video is being brought to you by Coursera. If you're looking to get your start in IT with no previous experience, then check out the Google IT Support Professional Certification. The Google IT Support Professional Certification is a beginner-level certification that doesn't require experience, and it can help you land an entry-level role. Once completed, you can add the certification on your resume to show you have learned fundamental IT support knowledge. The Google IT Support Professional covers these fundamental topics: technical support fundamentals, the bits and bytes of computer networking, operating systems and you becoming a power user, system administration and IT infrastructure services, IT security defense against the digital dark arts. The information taught in this program would have helped me tremendously in my early career. Entry-level IT salaries typically start at $56,000. Sign up now to enroll for a 7-day free trial of the Google IT Support Professional Certificate now. Link will be in the description.
Massachusetts.
Listen, as long as they laughing at it, it's keeping the engagement up. But
hey,
if you're in the Northeast out there, go ahead and apply to work there. They're going to have a lot of openings, and I'm pretty sure they're going to pay you a lot of money. So I would definitely get your Security Plus and go work up there. And I only say that because it's a government job, so they just want you to have that.
Don't sound like they're going to give you the tools to work with, but we'll let it ride.
They probably up there using McAfee Nitro.
Man, boy, they're using that Massachusetts.
But I wanted to talk about this one real well. Actually, it's a couple of them, but I want to go on and on about it. Like, a lot of us use Western Digital products. Like, I have 2 Western Digital SSDs right now. And last week,
one sitting right here, bro.
Yeah, they were hacked.
A little my cloud sitting right here.
Let's talk about it real quick. I need to get that. I need to actually get that set up. But let's look at it really quick. I want to touch on this for the people because they may not know and they use these things just like I didn't know. But I constantly review what's happening in security every day, and I saw it, so I was like, "This is perfect." Hackers claim vast access to Western Digital systems. One of the hackers claimed to have stolen customer data and said they're asking for a minimum of 8 figures as a ransom. Now, this was in the middle of last week, I believe. I think this has been rectified as far as having you have access to your MyCloud and stuff now. But I know people couldn't access it for a while. They had to create a new local connection or something on their computers to access the stuff. Let's see. The hackers who breached data storage giant Western Digital claim to have stolen around 10 terabytes of data from the company, including, look, y'all know this word, reams of customer information. I ain't messed that up now.
You got it, bro. You got it.
The extortionists are pushing the company to negotiate a ransom of a minimum 8 figures in exchange for not publishing the stolen data. On April 3rd, Western Digital disclosed a network security incident. I didn't get a notification on April 3rd. I'm going to go back and check my email. But saying hackers had exfiltrated data after hacking into a number of the company's system. At the time, Western Digital provided a few details about exactly what data the hackers stole, saying in a statement that the hackers obtained a certain data from its systems, and Western Digital is working to understand the nature and the scope of that data. All right. Incident response 101. you really don't have to disclose this information so you kind of have a grasp on the scope. No reason to say this happened. We don't know what's going on yet. Kind of sit back and wait and at least have an idea. Eventually that always changes. Oh, they got access to more. But if you don't know at all, I wouldn't say something in the beginning. So yeah,
I disagree. I disagree. As a customer, I want to know as soon as you know something. Because as a customer, I can start taking measures to protect my data like immediately.
True. I mean,
you know what I mean? Like you send me an email and be like, hey, look, we don't know the full scope of the situation. We don't know all the details, but we know that information was disclosed. Because like, think about it like this. With the LastPass thing, right? Imagine how many people could have taken like action a lot sooner had they said, hey, look, we know they're in here. We don't know, because they waited to see.
They did say that.
How many
no, they did say that, but they told us at first.
Did they say it immediately?
Yeah, they said they said, oh, they didn't get access to nothing. Then they came back and said,
I didn't know that.
Did. And so that's what made me go to Dashlane.
But to my point,
shout out to Dashlane. Dashlane, if you're listening to this, hey, I rock with Dashlane. They've never been breached.
I mean,
go ahead.
I rock with 1Password. They actually published their pen test, so you can read them. But
Dashlane never.
Either way, if you're listening, use a password manager. Now, sidebar, I have
use sticky notes. Really, go back in the day, sticky notes.
I have seen a particular channel pushing like hosting your own password manager. Here's the thing: there's no such thing as security through obscurity. Do not try to do that. Like, use a password manager with SLAs and like that covers you, insurance, all that stuff. But anyway, go ahead, bro. Continue. I'm just saying, I think I would like to know about any security related issues that could affect my data as soon as they happen.
Got you. One of the hackers spoke with TechCrunch and provided more details with the goal of verifying their claims. The hacker shared a file that was digitally signed with Western Digital's code signing certificate, showing they could now digitally sign files to impersonate Western Digital.
Ooh, that's a big deal.
Right. 2 security researchers also looked at the file and agreed it is signed with the company's certificate. Dang, they should have called you. The hackers also shared phone numbers allegedly belonging to several company executives. TechCrunch called the numbers. Most of the calls rang, but went to automated voicemail messages. 2 of the phone numbers had voicemail greetings that mentioned the names of, they really had this information. Names of executives that the hackers claim were associated with the numbers. The 2 phone numbers are not public. Screenshots shared by the hacker show a folder from a Box account apparently belonging to Western Digital, an internal email file stored in a private ARC instance, and a screenshot of a group call where one of the participants is identified as Western Digital's chief information security officer. They also said that they were able to steal data from the company's SAP back office, a back-end interface that helps companies manage e-commerce data. The hacker said that their goal when they hacked Western Digital was to make money, though they decided against using ransomware to encrypt the company's files. I want to give them a chance to pay, but our callers, they have called them many times. They don't answer. And if they do, they listen and hang up, the hacker said. Let me find out they hitting them with the, I don't know who you are, but I hold a particular set of
I hold a particular set of skills.
I will find you.
Liam Neeson is my no.
Bro, hey, hey, that's fire. Hey, listen.
Liam Neeson.
Oh, bro. Liam Neeson, you probably would never listen to this podcast.
What? Who, bro? Who did you
Liam
say?
Nelson. What I say?
No,
Nielsen?
bro. No, bro. No,
what I say?
It's Liam Neeson.
I thought it was Nelson.
Nah, bro. Liam Nelson is your cousin or something, bro.
Liam Neeson. Say it again one more time. Now you got me messing up.
No,
Neeson.
No, bro. Let you figure it out. Yes. Bro.
Okay, Liam Neeson. Anyway,
leave it in chat. Like, hey, never mind. Go ahead.
Nah, they probably gonna be laughing at this. But you know, you gotta have fun with the content thing. A lot of people would try to cut this out, but I'm leaving it. However,
oh man, yeah, you gotta leave this in here, bro.
You
gotta leave Liam Nelson and Matt.
He actually should try to contract his services just to security companies or any company to respond to people when they find out they've been hacked, and saying like he's like with the team, the IR team that's on retainer. He needs to be the person calling the hackers. I just gave you a strategy. Now, if you start doing this, cut the podcast in on some of that bread because you weren't thinking about it until we said it.
You also Need to change your name to Liam Nelson.
That's fine. I might change the YouTube channel to Liam Nelson.
Bro, this episode, what we at? 33 or 34? I mean 84. Episode
no, hold on.
84,
What you say? 33. This is 84. Look at this. He said,
"Bro, don't try to get me, bro.
No, I'm getting you.
Get me.
I might name the episode Massachusetts. Honestly,
episode 84. Liam Nelson lives in Massachusetts. That's what this episode called.
Let's see what it says. We are the vermin who breached your company. Perhaps your attention is needed. The hackers wrote according to a copy of the emails the hackers shared with TechCrunch. Continue down this path, and we will retaliate.
Oh,
we only need a one-time payment.
Bold.
Hey, and I like them. And then we will leave your network and let you know about your weaknesses. No lasting harm has been done. But if there are any efforts to interfere with us, our systems, or anything else, we will strike back. The hackers continued. We are still buried in your network, and we will keep digging there until we find a payment from you. We can completely conceal this and make it all disappear. Before it's too late, let us do that. Until now, you have been gracious. Let's hope that you do not keep going the wrong way. Cut the crap, get the money, and let's both go for our separate ways. Simply put, let's put our egos aside and work to find a resolution. Imagine like somebody got your information and they want you to be sensible with them. The hackers wrote.
Yeah, man. They're like, look, be reasonable here. Be reasonable here.
That's why I love still having the imagination at the age of like 31. I just thought about when everything goes into VR, AI, augmented reality, all the above. Like some Ready Player One type stuff where you say I believe that it's going to go from people like us sitting behind computers to us putting our things on and we're becoming like freaking cyber chasing them and actually going to find the people in like the metaverse and like dealing with them.
I'm quitting at that point, bro.
Kind of like I'm not. I'm with it, bro. I want to be a Power Ranger my whole life.
I'm straight, bro. I'm straight.
What you mean? You ain't trying to morph?
I'm not trying to morph, my boy. I'm trying to stay right here, right, bro.
What was your favorite Power Ranger right now?
My favorite Power Ranger?
Yeah.
Dang, I don't even want to
probably
say it,
black,
bro.
knowing you.
It was it was definitely the Black Ranger. Well, I'm gonna say the Black Ranger because I don't want to say the true answer on the podcast. I don't want to say the true answer on the podcast.
Listen, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was so racist the first couple of seasons because why? Zach is the only Black Ranger. When he come on through the intro, he doing a little dance move. Why is Zach the only person that know how to dance? And he got his own form of karate.
Zach
with dancing.
Young Zach Boogaloo.
Man, Zach look like he our age though. But nah, go ahead.
Hey, hot take. 3 ninjas with a body Power Rangers, bro.
No way. No way at all. And I'm a 3 ninja stand. I stand with 3 ninjas.
Rocky, Cole, and what was the other one?
What'd you say, Cole?
Wasn't it Cole? Colt?
No, Colt. Rocky, Colt, and Tum Tum. Michael, Jeffrey, and Samuel.
What? Tum Tum was my boy. Hey, 3 ninjas. Hey, we need a Power Rangers 3 ninjas versus Swiss, Tim, make it happen. Swiss and Timbo, make it happen, bro.
They're not gonna believe they need more people. They don't have enough. It's only 3 of them.
They can't morph though. Bro, Power Rangers can't morph though.
It don't matter. When they went to Japan, they was getting killed.
Bro, all right, okay, hold on. Sidebar. Everybody leave in the chat. Best generation of Power Rangers. I'm taking Power Rangers. What's the ones that was in space? The space.
In space. Which one? Lost Galaxy or in space?
I'm taking in space over Mighty Morphin, my boy.
Oh no way. You got to take. You have to take all 6. You can't. I mean, RP Jason David Frank. Like no. The Green Ranger. Are you kidding me? Hey, I'm taking in space over Tommy came. Tommy came into the game on straight Vegeta energy.
Oh yeah, no Tommy. Because wasn't he evil at first?
Yeah, straight Vegeta energy. Whooped everybody, beat them up, took their Megazords and everything. Like, it's no.
And then joined the team and got a flute.
Did, and then he got a staff called Saba. But I would say my best one. I probably would say SPD.
Power Rangers, bro.
Yeah, I started watching
the police. The police. You like the police Power Rangers? Man, get out of here, bro.
Bro, are you serious? Jack had dreads. Get out of here. That's a red Power Ranger.
I don't like. Nah, bro.
Bro, Jack had
police Power Rangers.
Jack had dreads. You're not understanding me. The realest Red Ranger had dreads. It would be out of SPD or Ninja Storm. They're like my two favorite ones, to be honest.
I'm going with In Space.
I got somebody to get In Space out of there. Time Force. I mean, we could turn this into a Power Rangers pod too, but
listen, bro, we don't even want to get into. We ain't talking. Listen, bro.
Time Force, get them out there. Now, if you all right, now, and this is the last thing that
we ain't even got into Beetleborgs, bro. We ain't got into Beetleborgs, bro.
I was finna tell you,
Beetleborgs giving the Power Rangers L's, bro.
First of all, watch this. I got a 3-way crossover. First of all, I put 50 on VR Troopers getting Beetleborgs out of there. Now what? 3-on-3.
Power Rangers overrated.
You heard me?
Overrated.
Yeah. Hey y'all. Hey chat. Y'all hear him ducking the smoke when I tell him VR Troopers will get Beetleborgs out of there.
Beetleborgs is bodying VR Troopers. Put in the chat if you agree.
No way. No way.
Put in the chat if you agree.
You forget, bro. You forgetting them dudes was kids.
Beetleborgs and Liam Neeson
Ryan
versus
Steele,
VR Troopers and Liam Neeson,
Caitlin,
bro.
I forgot what Caitlyn's last name was, but they actually was like grown-ups. Like they
What's my boy who was Snap and then run real fast?
I don't know. I know the girl was real strong. You talking about the black dude?
Yeah, body.
Hey, you see how racist that? Hey, listen, honestly, look, this not even what the podcast is supposed to be about. But when you think about all the stuff in the 90s, all the black characters had like racial stereotypes.
All the stereotypes.
On Recess,
we can run fast, we can dance.
On Recess. On the show Recess, Vince was good at all the sports, like because he was black. Like, man, I ain't gonna go there. I mean, even though
you're really making me rethink my childhood, bro.
Yeah, because we had. I
also,
feel bad.
Speaking of childhood, hot take. This is gonna be the opener for next episode because we gotta go into detail about this, bro. Aladdin was a thief. Was a thief, bro. Aladdin is trash, bro. He was the bad guy of that movie, bro. Like he was the bad guy of that movie, and we have to talk about this more, bro. He was a thief. He was capping about who he was. Like,
man, Aladdin was from O Block, man.
Bro, Aladdin was trash, bro. He was definitely from O Block, though.
But
oops. All right, back to tech.
No. So all right, so y'all look. One of the things we've been talking about right now recently is AI. And now, if you guys have been following everything, AI has gotten to the point where it can mimic your favorite rapper and make songs. Now, what I think is happening is
make bangers.
What I think is happening is it's taking access to their voice files and lyrics they've said and mashing them up together to make music. I think that's what's happening because when we're gonna listen to the AI Ghostwriter Drake track. We're gonna listen to that and we're gonna react to it. And now y'all gonna let me know what y'all think in the chat, and then we're gonna let you know what we think real time while we're reacting to it. So let me get to.
Who y'all think win? AI Drake or real Drake or Aubrey?
The real Champagne Poppy. Come on now. Is that a question?
That's a boy with the government calls.
I came in with my ex like Selena, the flex. Justin Bieber, the fever, and left.
Hey, listen, all they did, like AI's taking his voice sound. I don't think he said some of this stuff before. I know I could be wrong, but all they did was use it, make some basic rhymes to rhyme. It's nothing like he would do in Tuscan Leather. Now, if they can get like that, I don't know, but I'm gonna keep on letting it play because it's a little bop though. We will be listening to this in the car. I'm not gonna lie.
It slapped.
I don't know if AI came with the beat. I don't know if he already had the beat and just put the vocals over it, though. That's the thing I don't know.
Hey, whoever DJ in Afrotech, you got to drop this.
Facts.
I need her. She blessed, giving my best. I got my heart on my sleeve with a knife in my back. What's with that? 21, I love him, then my brother. That's my stack. Metro made the beat, so you know that it's gon' slap. It's gon' slap. Time, run it back. Talking to a diva, yeah, she on my nerves. She think that I need her, kick her to the curb. All I know is you could've had the world, yeah, you on my world.
Got these girls on my neck, got these girls on my track, like Selena, baby, on my cheetah, baby, yeah.
I don't know. That was the weekend at the end.
Yeah, that jump slap, bro.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I think the beat was hard though. That's the thing. The beat was hard. I don't like I said. I don't know if AI made the beat.
See, I don't think the beat was that hard.
I do. Well, we using you're using AirPods. These they were slapping in my headphones. So
okay, I'm gonna have to put the big headphones on to check this out.
Yeah, I mean that's why you see me. I'm doing like I'm in the car. It sound like the subs hidden in these Sonys right here. Hey, shout out to JP Morgan. Y'all paid for these. I ain't paid nothing. It was like $300 some.
Nothing. Shout out to JP Morgan.
Hey, if you listen to this right now, if you made it to this part of the podcast, listen, check your job and see what type of reimbursement policies they got for you working from home. Get you a new desk, get you some headphones, some monitors for the free 99. Oh, and also, I didn't even say this through the episode, but if you're watching this right now, my Breaking Into Cybersecurity ebook is free 99 for the foreseeable future. Use code FREE23 to get the free ebook. That'll be in the description for you as well. And we had one more. I saw Bees posted this one about AI and banking, and I feel like we could do a really good talk on this one. Let's open this.
Let's see what we got. And then we're going to run that Drake back or that AI Drake.
This AI shit is getting out of hand. There's a new AI scam that you need to be aware of, and it's absolutely terrifying. If you have ever uploaded any video to the internet, a TikTok, YouTube video, any video to the internet, you and your family could be hit by this, so keep watching. This morning, my grandparents received a call from me claiming that I was in a bad car accident and that I needed them to send me money. I do not even own a car. I've not driven a car in the last 6 months. Obviously, that was not me, but they were close to taking a second mortgage out in order to pay the scammer because they thought it was me. The reason that they believed it was me is because it sounded exactly like me. Thankfully, though, my dad was there and he called me to verify that it was actually me, and it wasn't, so they didn't pay him. I recently saw something on TikTok that scammers are using AI to clone your voice and scam your loved ones out of money, and I thought nothing of it. Yeah, sure, that's probably possible with AI, but that's not gonna happen to me, right? Oh boy, was I wrong. If you have ever put out a video with you speaking in it on the internet, please be careful, because all they need is a short audio clip and they can clone your voice. Seriously, consider making a secret code between you and your small group of loved ones so that you guys can verify that you're actually speaking to one another, because this AI shit.
Now, he actually touched on what I actually want to touch on about AI, even though we did react to the Drake. And as cool as this thing we just listened to with Drake is, what he just talked about is one of the issues that we're going to run in with this technology being readily available to everyone. If everyone has access to this, that's the bigger issue. This thing is worse than people having guns. Because let's take it a step further. Let's not only say, yeah, it is. I wish I had the gunshots right there. Let's not only say that in the facts that they act like they're you. Let's say this person actually social engineers and watches you all through online, knows who your family is, where they stay, what time they wake up, where you go to church at. And so they actually start crafting things to where they really get your guns online. Hey, they might
they hack your LinkedIn, database and get your address.
Yeah, but even that, like, so they'll go in and maybe know something personal about you that you heard you was talking about in the timeline or something like that. Yeah, hey, I know you had some hard times. I got this money, so I'm going to send you something through Cash App, and then they take money from the other people Cash App. Like it's a bunch of things that can go wrong with this. Let's say somebody want to be malicious. We're going to use something that could happen because these type of things happen. You could be dealing with a man or a woman that's upset that you don't want to deal with them anymore. So they might want to make false claims against you. And so they can make a fake Google Voice number, whatever number, and act like you're sending voice messages saying you're going to do stuff to them or whatever. But it's not you. It's not you, but the police going to believe it's you. So these are the issues that now you're going to have to fight against. You can say, fam, that's not me. Look at my call log. Now, that's the thing where you got to get like the carriers involved and actually see who's saying what. But the fact that they can do that, a woman can lie on you and make a whole accusation up a story about like you doing something when you was out. Maybe you probably didn't even see the girl that day, but they
or man, yes,
yeah,
but
right,
it's scary, bro. I mean, I think this AI thing, and we've been kind of watching the technology with the whole deep fake thing and being able to pretend that you're anybody, because for a long time, video evidence has been submissible evidence. It's been hard evidence, right? Like we believe our eyes. like you now we're tapping into being able to trick real senses, right? Like your eyes, your ears, right? Like I saw this, I heard this. Like these are like primary senses. So, man, I think it's getting pretty scary. I think that one, we see a huge shift in intellectual property and ownership. I don't think it's a coincidence that smart artists are selling their masters right now. I know a lot of people are on the independent grind, but like me, I personally feel like, I could see a case for it, right? Like a lot of people are selling their masters right now, right? Because your intellectual property and your voice and the art that you produce can be affected by things like this, right? Like what are your masters value if you can, like, so say for example, I'm a new artist. A company can buy my likeness, right? They can buy my likeness, my voice, they can buy my likeness, license that, and use AI to make whatever track they want. They don't need me to create anything. They can use all these analytics about what's selling in the market, what's hot on TikTok, what's hot on streaming sites, and they can take those analytics. They can get down to beats per minute, like how long, like length of a song. Like they can take all of that data, run it through this AI algorithm, and they can produce hits. And all they had to buy was my likeness. All they had to pay for was my actual likeness, right? So man, I'm really interested to see like what the economic factors of this are going to be.
Yeah, not only that. So let's take it a step further. I put it on like regular scenarios. And when it comes to podcasting, right? Somebody said, we're going to put Eric and me out of business. They get our clones, so they just start having podcasts. Like think about it with AI. You could use a different tool to just script it out and they could just talk it. And now you got a podcast. So we're going to see
and
a rise.
AI going to be able to say Massachusetts too.
You're right. It's also going to know that the second son and Three Ninjas name is Coat and not Cole.
All right, fair.
But no, in all seriousness, that, and I lost my thought, but I'm gonna get it back.
My bad, bro. My bad. I threw you off.
In all seriousness, when it comes to the AI stuff, more live events are gonna become like, I think, way more expensive, because the one thing AI don't give you is that feeling. Like as much as that Drake was bopping, it was something that wasn't there in the lyrics. That's why when it comes to actors or music or whatever it is, the human element is what makes us resonate with things. And if you can't feel that in a song, it's not going to work. Now they do this with some of the songs, but I'm talking about the longevity of being like a good artist. So I know artists are probably, some of them are looking at this like in a certain way. And I do know there are people trying to like shut this down, which I actually would. Actually, as cool as this experiment has been, it actually does need to be shut down right now. There's no safeguards over it. There's nothing stopping people from doing things like this with artificial intelligence, and it can cause some damage. Just imagine, man, listen, I just thought of something else, man, some dirty Mac and player hater stuff. A dude wants your woman or a woman wants your man, so they hear him talking and they make up something and send it to your girl, and she acting like it's you, or send it to your woman. Is this you? And you saying no. Well, to her, it sounds like it's you. These are like, as petty as you think it may be, don't think people won't go like whatever as deep as they want to go to get what they want at the end of the day. That's what I view with this AI stuff. But
yeah, it's wild, man.
It's a wild west.
First of all, no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say we in the iRobot times, like pretty soon. Like that's the part that's gonna be pretty interesting. Like imagine when it's gonna be actual RoboCop time, like actual robotic cops.
You gonna be with them, bro? Talking about SP?
No. That's the physical world. I'm talking about in the digital world. I'm gonna be a DigiDestin.
I don't know.
Bro,
so first of all, nah, bro. I was bro. I think I was trapping.
What you mean?
No, I was not trapping. I was not.
You was not trapping, bro. You definitely was eating sugar smacks.
I was not
in front
trapping,
of the TV,
bro. But check this out. So first of all, I feel like based on the examples you gave, we need to talk offline on some therapy shit. Because boy, you got some examples.
I got a lot of examples.
Second of all, man, you're right, bro. Like it's scary to think that we are in a time where your likeness in any situation can be questioned on whether or not it's you. Like, man, like, you know what? We should do it live on the podcast, bro. We should take our voices and see if we can produce like 3 minutes of podcast content. Because you like, so I was listening to by them. They didn't plug us. It's just a really, really great podcast, especially if you're in the cybersecurity. But they had a clip on there, like an intro, where they took both of their voices and made like a podcast intro. Yeah, man, we're at a time where your likeness is like can be questioned, and I'm like you, and the first thing I think of is how can this be used for nefarious uses. But yeah, I mean, even what you said about the live thing, right, bro? Like, did you see the Coolio hologram or the Tupac hologram?
Years ago, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, imagine how much better that could get now. Like,
yeah,
and with
but
AI,
not...
imagine the speed that they could. Imagine the speed that, like, you could literally have a hologram or a likeness of a performer now, responding to the crowd.
I would say now, probably like 500 years when they can make like androids, like Dragon Ball Z type stuff, like it'll probably be different. But until then, we're still good, because as cool as the Coachella thing was, the hologram, people want to see real people. Like, I didn't pay all that money to go see.
The police in New York got robot dogs. The police in New York got robot dogs.
I heard that. But listen, I didn't pay all this money to see fake Drake. I paid this money to see the real Drake, not a hologram.
But what happened? Okay, I hear you. But what happens when your favorite artist was never a real person anyway?
I mean, hey, we saw that with Milli and Vanilli.
No. I mean, like, okay, again, like, say a label discovers this artist on SoundCloud or on Bandcamp or whatever, and they say, "Hey, we just want to buy your likeness, and you can go. We'll give you $4 million right now for your voice and your image."
I will say that probably will happen, but I also say there will be the people that's going to separate the people who just want the money and the people that actually like what they do, and then that's going to be the two different things.
How many people you think doing this for the money, bro? I can completely see a time where the music charts are populated with artists who sold their likeness at some point. And they might not be
music artists, bro. They might be creative people. They might not even be artists. But the thing is,
bro, imagine Netflix with AI technology. They could make the perfect movie.
I mean, maybe some animated joints.
All right, man.
To go back into just to counter what you said about the money stuff, I believe the people who have shown growth throughout their career are the people that were doing it more outside of the money, because it's a lot of people who could have been stopped a long time ago because they made enough money they don't ever have to do it again. So I know those people. Then I know the people who came in and had like one peak and got their bread and really stopped and fell off. I feel like those are the money people. And I ain't gonna say names, but Chance the Rapper, I feel like he's one of those guys, because he came in and everybody just thought he was the next something, and boy, ain't been hot since acid rap.
Dang, you like Coloring Book, bro?
I did, but it's still not acid rap, Chance. And I don't reason I say that. And reason why I say that, because acid rap might have been peak Chance, and then after Coloring Book is what? And then, I mean, he got carried on like a lot of the songs that he was on anyway. Like, think about 2 Chainz and Wayne made No Problem.
No Problems, yeah. I don't know, man. I think about so many. I think about the economy of it, and it's just like you could sell your likeness. You could sell your likeness, and these companies could make a lot of money off of it. So I would say, like, for any content creators, you know, us included, like, start thinking of ways you could copyright and like secure your likeness, like your entire image, your voice, your name, because that's gonna become okay. Like Shaquille O'Neal owns some, and lawyers don't come for me in the chat because I don't know the full details, but he owns like the name Marilyn Manson and Elvis Presley. Like, he owns a part of that name, so licensed material and stuff like that, he owns a part of it. Not Marilyn Manson. I'm sorry, Marilyn Monroe. Did I say Marilyn Monroe or Marilyn Manson?
I don't know what you said. But it's your turn to
sign. One of them,
we're messing up.
One of them, but like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I look at it like that, where it's like, if I'm a label exec, if I'm an A&R, I can go out to like a local spot in Chicago, hear a jazz artist, right? And like record it and then like go play that back to the label execs. They like it. And I'd be like, all right, if I have this AI, I can take all of the data that we have over the course of these years about like what's been hot, what's been popular, trends, all of this stuff. I can go to that jazz artist and say, hey, look, I'm gonna give you $4 or $5 million. We want to buy the likeness, your voice, your image, and like all these, however the lawyers write it up. We go take that, we can produce, right? We can outlive that artist. We can outlive their talent. We can outlive their ability to create, because that artist is a person. They're going to get sick. They're going to have family stuff. They're going to not be able to show up for stuff. But if I can buy that likeness and that voice, then now I have a machine that can produce as much as I needed to produce. We could produce the next decade of content over the course of a few days.
Probably so. And without that conversation going on too long, we'll have a part 2 for this, because I also believe where there's bad, there's good. Like places like a YouTube or TikTok or something like that can use that AI to find people who are ripping off other people's content and doing other things with it. Because YouTube is already good enough to where if I go in the studio on my thing, it'll tell me this person used your content. Do you want to strike them or whatever? Like I had a person that took my video one time, bar for bar, word for word, and just re-uploaded it on their channel. It's like, bro, I didn't give you permission to do this. I'm gonna ask you to take it down for a copyright strike you. And they took it down. I was like, bro, this is not your video. You're not finna eat off of my video about my life, acting like it's you. No.
Right.
Like if you're doing commentary, if you're reacting to it, I'm not gonna strike you. Cause I'm like, hey, you're changing the video because you're reacting to what I said. But when you just take my video and upload
it's a little stitch.
So that'll be things like, I don't know. It's pretty interesting. So I just say people just watch. And I would say for the people who have the channels or social commentary channels where they don't show their face often, I would probably advise you to start probably trying to do that, because that might be one of those things now where people say, well, I don't know, I'm listening to like a robot voice. So those would be one of the things that I would tell you to touch in onto. We got one brief more thing to talk about very quickly for you guys this week, and this is for our Mac users. Very quickly, we've seen that the Lockbit ransomware encryptors are found targeting Mac devices. Let's look at this real quick, and then we're gonna really get at y'all here. I said Lockbit.
You said Lockpick.
I said Lockbit.
Bro, you said Lock. All right. Hey, comment in the chat what he just said. Comment in the chat what he just said.
I think one of your AirPods went dead.
I only got one in, bro.
That's why. The Lockbit ransomware gang has created encryptors targeting Macs for the first time, likely becoming the first major ransomware operation to ever specifically target macOS. The new ransomware encryptors were discovered by a cybersecurity researcher, malware hunter team, who found a zip archive on VirusTotal that contained what appears to be most of the available Lockbit encryptors. Historically, the Lockbit operation encryptors designed for attacks on Windows, Linux, and VMware EXXI servers. However, as shown below, this archive also contained previously unknown encryptors for macOS, ARM, FreeBSD, MIPS, and Spark CPUs. Pretty cool. Now this is this airbag right here.
A little bit. Like I'm not super into Mac malware, but I think it's interesting.
I'm talking about the research bit, not necessarily what it was. I'm just talking about researching the security research.
Oh yeah. MHT is a good group. Like they go hard. So
hire my boy.
This is interesting, bro. Like I think for so long in the security community, we've heard this cliche, this rumor, Macs don't get viruses. And we know that it's because for so long within the business world, the enterprise, corporate computing world, Macs haven't had the market share that Windows have had. I think personally, and I don't know, and I haven't done any research, I think we're seeing more of this because we're shifting to a developer-centric infrastructures, with infrastructure as code, detection as code. We're shifting to developer-centric infrastructure, and people are keeping repos locally. And, we're also seeing more people just kind of take on to Macs. I mean, like I work on a Mac now, whereas 10 years ago, I didn't do that, So I think as we see Macs gain more market share in the enterprise world, I think this is maybe the first. Don't think it's the last. I think we see much, much more of this going forward.
Right. It says these encryptors also include one name locker underscore Apple underscore M1 underscore 64 that targets the newer Macs running on Apple Silicon. The archive also contains locker for Power PC CPUs, which older Macs use. So they trying to get everybody. Bleeping Computer analyzed the strings in a Lockbit encryptor for Apple M1 and found strings that are out of place in macOS encryptor, indicating that these were likely haphazardly thrown together in a test. For example, there are numerous references to VMware EXXI, which is out of place in an Apple M1 encryptor, as VMware VM Air. I think they meant to put VMware right here. See, it ain't me that messed up this time. I was just reading what
That
it
wasn't
said.
you. That wasn't you. That was not you.
VMware announced
I
they
get it
would
wrong.
not be supporting the CPU architecture. Okay, I'm gonna just see if it's anything else. All right, so this is gonna talk about this, and we'll have this article in there too. But just want to put y'all on game about this. If you have a Mac, just to be careful out here. Let's stop sharing because it's getting real everywhere. Nobody's safe. Anybody, that's my boy AB say. Anybody can get it. Windows, Linux, Mac OS. Anybody can get it.
Cloud.
So Google,
Cloud, your
Android,
containers,
iOS,
your containers ain't safe. Your cloud functions ain't safe. None
Western
of that.
Digital. Anybody can get
None
it,
of
man.
it.
I was trying to figure out how I want to end the episode, or what did I want to end the episode with. I guess I wanted to talk to the job searchers briefly about just navigating this weird time when it's still super competitive to get a job. Everyone is having issues. I just say keep on going at it full force. Do everything you can. Reach out to people that are in the industry that maybe can help you. People on the team. It'll eventually work out for you. I know how stringent some of these interview processes are. I would tell you, like I had a call with a client this week. Well, really not a call, but he was about to interview for a role. And he was so fixated on his lack of knowledge and threat hunting. And so what I told him was, hey, stop focusing so much on what you don't know and just focus on the stuff that you know very well and showcase that in your interview. And he was
100%.
like, you know what? You're right. And he did that, and he ended up, which I showed Eric the screenshot, and I put it on Instagram, that company wanted to offer him. Had he not focused on what he really knows well and focused on what he didn't know, he probably would have fumbled through the interview just because he would have been wondering, am I doing this right? Am I doing this? Like, no, like do what you know best in the interview. It's okay to say, I'm not good at that right now. But if you're exceptional in the other areas, that's okay. This person should have no problem being able to do these other things just because they're so good over here. I know they'll be able to pick this up. It's the same thing. We see it in sports. We see it in everything. If you got a good left hook, don't stop throwing the left hook because you're scared to throw it. Throw the left hook. That's what made you be champion. Mm-hmm. You like to cross over and dunk on people, do it. You know what I'm saying? They begging you to shoot. Are you worried about missing because somebody gonna start booing? Shoot anyway. You're gonna get paid regardless. So those are just my interview tips. Like, don't be nervous. Focus on what you know. Don't focus so much on what you don't know. And most of the time, you don't even know what they're going to ask you unless they give you a study guide, which is highly improbable that they do. But E, you got any words for the listeners for this week to set the tone for the week?
So my final word is for anybody studying for certifications. Listen, it's tough. And I know it gets hard. Keep grinding. Don't give up on your studies. Certifications are tough, and remember, oftentimes it can get kind of frustrating because they don't really reflect what you're doing in the field. I want to recommend a note-taking app that, if you are not familiar with it, it's a flashcard app. I'm sorry, if you're not familiar with it, it's one of my favorite. I've been using it since my very first certification. I'm gonna recommend Anki. Take really, really good flashcards. Practice. Always practice.
So real quick, what's the difference between
recalling
Anki
that
and
information?
Quizlet?
So Anki you can install locally, and it also uses this repetition system. I don't know what it's called, but it can run through your flashcards, and it'll start to drill down into which ones you know really, really well and the ones you don't, and it does it better than Quizlet. And like I said, you can install it locally, and it's also cloud-based. So if you want to, you can use it across devices. But make sure you're practicing recall. A lot of people spend a lot of time studying and don't practice recall. Remember, you're being tested on what you can recall, not what you read or not what you studied or watched. practice your recall over and over and over again. If you can't recall these answers, no matter how long you spend reading, no matter how many videos you watch, it doesn't make a difference. Practice recalling the information. So that being said, I know I'm working right now on a couple certifications, the Google Cloud Security Engineer and the SANS Certified Detection Analyst. I know my boy's working on a couple. So it don't stop. The grind don't stop. You're going to always be getting certifications.
And the biggest thing that we both didn't say that I need to, and I keep putting off, book your test.
Oh, book your test.
Book your test because that's going to make you keep studying. Because like I was telling him, I'll go through studying. I got a reminder to study, and then I won't study. So I need to put that 30 minutes, hour in like every day so I can go ahead and take the test. And then you can always change the dates for it, but you need to book that test because if not, you'll put it off. But
book your test. Give yourself a deadline.
Right. This has been another episode of Textual Talk, man, where y'all really got a lot out of us today. This episode went on longer. I felt like we had to just get it in. Y'all saw the childish sides of us. You saw him very childishly talk about me saying Massachusetts today. But, you know, it is what it is. You see how I landed that when that was a perfect 10 right there.
You did, bro. You got it, bro. You stuck the landing.
Right. But if y'all made it to the end of the podcast, let me know what your favorite Power Ranger season is. Matter of fact, that might be a question tomorrow on the timeline. My top 5 Power Ranger seasons.
If it's SPD, you cancel.
It's not. SPD is fire. Now, if I would have said, I could see if you would say, if I said Lightspeed Rescue, come on now, but SPD is fire. Detective Bucko. If y'all watch Snowfall, what's his name? Buckley. He's the same dude that was Jack, the red Power Ranger on SPD. So I rock with SPD.
Nice little trivia fact.
Yeah, but until next time, well, actually until next week, guys, I appreciate y'all for rocking with us. And like I always say,
yes, sir.
Let's stay textual and we out.